Selecting Graphing Tool from the menu opens the Graphing Tool page. A pop-up will appear, allowing you to choose the sensor details you want to graph. Sensors can be graphed from any site you have access to. First, select the relevant site. The devices for that site will then be available to choose from. You can select an individual sensor or a group of sensors. If a group is chosen, all sensors in that group will be displayed together on the same graph. Once the devices are selected, the default traces will appear in the Traces box. These can be edited by clicking the Edit button. The selectable traces are Sensor. This shows the sensor's readings. High and low alarm 1. This is the first set of high and low set points for the device. High and low alarm 2. If a second set of set points has been added, these can also be selected. Communications. This shows the communications information for the device. Signal strength. This displays the signal strength of the transmitter the device is attached to. Status. This shows the device status at each reading, for example, OK, or alarm. Note, if a group is set to average sensor readings, then the trace items listed above will display as the group reading, since in this case the group is treated as a device. However, if the readings are not averaged, then only the individual sensors within the group can be edited. Once the traces are selected, you can then choose the date range. By default, the range is set to today. Clicking on this will open the list of available periods. There is 6 quick pick options to choose from, and a custom button that allows you to select readings over a specific date range. Once the required range is selected, clicking Show will load the graph data. By placing your cursor on the graph, the relevant time and trace readings will appear in the sensor bar below the graph. As you move the cursor along the graph, the time and readings will update accordingly. Using the left mouse button, click and drag to zoom in on a section of the graph. The pan buttons in the top left corner allow you to move through the graph while zoomed in. Double-clicking the left button will return you to the full data view. The refresh button updates the graph back to the default display. When viewing today's readings, it will also update the graph with the latest data received. Selecting the Add Graph button allows additional sensors or another time period to be added to the current trace for comparison. A pop-up picker will open, allowing you to complete the selection. Once chosen, the new trace will appear on the graph with its own bar displayed below the original. The trace color can be changed using the Color Selection tool. Traces can also be managed easily. Use the I button to hide or show a trace. Use the cross button to delete a trace. Use the Add button to include further traces. Finally, selecting the cross button at the front of the trace bar will remove this sensor's trace data from the graph. The CSV button allows the graph data to be exported into a CSV file. Once selected, you can choose to take readings at the stored 1-minute interval, or at 5, 15, 30, or 60-minute intervals. If you select a period greater than 1 minute, the readings can either be averaged over that time period or exported as raw data. For example, as raw data, choosing every 5 minutes will give you every 5th reading. Lastly, the PDF button exports the chosen graph data in PDF format. This includes the graph view along with the sensor information displayed below it. My Data Portal. Total visibility, instant insight, complete control.